Là, je vais te donner ton emploi du temps et tu le gardes précieusement. D'accord?
D'accord.
So this movie has been everywhere the past couple of days. I know it's not really under the radar, but I'm betting that the large majority of people that are talking about it online haven't actually seen it. So I wanted to make a quick video to say, yeah, it's actually worth watching the whole thing before you judge it. And I wanted to speak about the controversy surrounding how some of the scenes are filmed. But before I get to that, I just want to give a straightforward review and I'll talk about the controversial scenes later. Cuties is a French movie about a young girl called Amy who is brought up in a very, very strict religious household, and because of that she has next to zero freedoms. So when she sees a bunch of girls at her school that dress and behave provocatively, she wants to hang around with that group because she sees the way that they behave as total freedom. So the movie sees Amy navigating between a bunch of women who are completely oppressed and a bunch of girls who don't really understand the implications of the way they're acting. This movie is about why kids need discipline and to be listened to, and the freedom to express themselves however they want, and the dangers of letting them do any of those things too much. Basically, it's screaming, you don't want to be raising a young girl in this day and age. And I agree, I don't. So before I move on, I want to say that I do feel like this movie touches on some good themes, and despite the controversial bits, which I'll talk about next, I do think it is well worth your time. Especially if you're a sucker for like a coming of age tale thing.
Je veux t'apprendre à être une femme aujourd'hui. On va cuisiner pour le mariage de ton père.
Déjà?
On ne pourra pas tout faire le même jour.
So onto the controversy. In order to show how provocative the girls are getting with their dance moves, the filmmakers have decided to show how provocative the girls are getting with their dance moves. And I have to admit, it is a bit much sometimes. You know, there's one or two dance sequences where the camera lingers just a little bit too long on like an 11-year-old girl twerking, and you do find yourself wondering, is it really necessary to show that to get your point across? However, the people who are complaining about it online are overreacting a lot. Kids aren't as dumb as you think they are. If you sit a kid down and explain to them any concept as a human being, they can grasp it and they can understand the moral implications of anything that you speak to them about. These actresses haven't been exploited in order to turn on pedophiles. They've danced in a movie that's supposed to usher in a discussion about how dangerous the world you're raising your kids in is.
À cause de ta photo de merde, là, on a une sale réputation maintenant. T'es contente? On fait les yeux un peu là.
Franchement, t'abuses. Tu sais que si moi j'aurais fait ça, ma mère elle m'aurait direct envoyé au bled. Elle est sans retour.
Mais on s'en fout, non? On va leur montrer qu'on est des vrais meufs. Non, on s'en fout pas, tout le monde nous met dans le même sac que toi maintenant.
Est-ce que t'as vu au moins les commentaires de ta photo là?
Tu sais qu'il y a des gens qui demandent que nous, on se fait comme toi. Nous, on va pas se mettre à poil, hein. Nous, on n'est pas toi. Hein. Eh, mais c'est pas ça le plus important, non. Le plus important, c'est qu'on gagne le concours.
However, as I said, I don't think it needed to be filmed that way. I'm just not particularly up in arms about it. The dance scenes are filmed as if they're a bad thing. It's not glorified at all. But it certainly isn't tasteful considering the subject. I would argue though that the sharing of the dance moves on Twitter because you're outraged is absolutely exploiting those kids. Like a 5-second no context clip of an 11-year-old girl twerking is creepy. And your arguments would hold a lot more weight if you weren't sharing the clips that you claim to find disgusting and that shouldn't be seen by anybody.
Elles ont beaucoup de likes.
If you think Netflix should be cancelled over this video, type young girls dance competition into the search bar and see how many views those videos have. Those girls are dancing exactly like the way the girls in Cuties are, but they're being taught that it's cool. Like, that's the fight we should be fighting. Like and subscribe.